Standard 5th, Subject EVS 2, Chapter 7, From Shelters to Village Settlements. In this chapter, we are going to study 7.1 Shelter, 7.2 Seasonal Camps, and 7.3 Village Settlements. Let's start with the first part, which is shelter. In the fifth lesson, we saw that the Neanderthals lived mainly in caves. So, in this picture, you can see a warm two-room tent erected by Neanderthal man inside a cave in France. At that time, the climate in Europe was extremely cold. The Neanderthals could protect themselves from the freezing temperatures because they wore leather clothing and made use of fire. So you can see in this picture that a fire is lit up to keep them warm from the extreme cold climate. And also their clothing is mainly made up of leather so that they can feel the warmth. They can keep their body warm because of the leather. But perhaps that was not enough. That is why they used animal hides to erect tents inside the caves for warmth. Wherever necessary, they also build huts in the open. So, in this picture, you can see the Neanderthal man has built huts in the open. So, this is how shelter was undertaken or built as suitable to the climate. Let's move on to part number 2, that is seasonal camps. In the Middle Stone Age, groups of Homo sapiens had established camps all over the world. At that time, the climate was getting warmer. So now there is a change in the climate. Everywhere the environment was changing, and with it, the diet of Homo sapiens was also undergoing change. By the time of the Middle Stone Age, big animals like mammoths were on the way to extinction due to changing environment and also because they were hunted on a very large scale. So in this picture you can see a mammoth. It was on a way to extinction. Extinction means it happens when a particular animal or plant species are no more like individual of that species alive anywhere in the world. So this particular animal mammoth was on the way to extinction. So extinction of a particular animal or plant species occurs when there are no more individuals of that species alive anywhere in the world. Now, the mammoth was an ancestor of the elephant. However, he was much bigger in size compared to the elephant. And as they were hunted on a large scale, now it faced the danger of becoming extinct. So, naturally, there had to be some other occupation. That is why Homo sapiens had largely turned to fishing. Okay, you can see they are collecting the fishes, segregating it, net is being laid in the sea. So he also began to depend more on hunting smaller animals like the wild boar, deer, mountain goat, and sheep. So besides hunting, fishing was another occupation which was undertaken by Homo sapien, and as well as hunting of smaller animals. Not only bigger animal like a mammoth which was getting extinct, smaller animals were also now hunted like the boar, deer, mountain goat and sheep. So there was a changing pattern in the pattern of diet, eating habits. The changed diet pattern enabled the groups of Homo sapiens to roam to faraway regions. They moved their camps to different places according to seasonal changes. There they harvested seasonal wild grains and gathered seasonal fruits and roots. They would find out the best seasons for fishing and use the knowledge to their advantage. By observation, they discovered the best hunting grounds. So now the Homo sapiens not only started fishing, but they started growing crops also. Harvesting was another occupation which they learned gradually. So there was a change. For these reasons, they stayed in one place for longer periods. Now that they started growing crops, they did not have to move from one place to another. They could stay in one place. They cleared jungles by felling trees and set up the seasonal camps in the clearings. So once the jungles were cleared, they could set up their camps, which were called as seasonal camps. So we have covered 7.2 part of this chapter, the second part, that is seasonal camps. Now we shall learn about the third part, which is village settlements. The way of life of humans in the new Stone Age was completely different from that of humans in the Old Stone Age and Middle Stone Age. So now we are in the new Stone Age and it was completely different. You can see that the Homo sapien is now learning different techniques, different occupations. During this period, humans became producers of food grains. So cultivation period started. The beginning of cultivation is the characteristics of the culture of the New Stone Age. So what is the characteristics of the culture of the New Stone Age? The beginning of cultivation. In the hunting and gathering way of life, it is necessary to keep moving all the time. Previously, when man was only dependent on hunting and gathering fruits, roots, he had to move. Once the food was over in one place, he had to move to other place. However, agriculture makes it possible to store food and use it over a longer period. Hence, there is no need to keep moving constantly. Moreover, the nature of agricultural work made it necessary to stay in one place because the crop had to be harvested, then stored. So, if it had to be stored in larger quantities, that time Homo sapien could not move from one place to another. So, it was important for him to stay in one place. Therefore, people established permanent village settlements and lived in them generation after generation. So today also you see village settlements in certain places. Okay, they were established during the period of Homo sapiens, which dates back to the New Stone Age when man learned cultivation. In the next lesson, we shall review the social organization and the culture of these village settlements. So, hope you have understood this chapter based on three important points, which is shelter, seasonal camps, and village settlements of the Homo sapiens. So, students, do read the chapter from your textbook for a better understanding. Till then, stay safe, keep learning, and thank you.